Hey everyone, welcome to part 3B of my in-depth review of the new Blood Angel Codex. As always, my name is Jay. And I'm going to start off this video as I did with the previous one. I did do a original review of this codex with an awesome Blood Angel player named Deblet. If you want to watch our original video, click on the link right up here. Up here, yep, right there. But I must warn you, the audio and video quality is quite poor, unfortunately. We tried doing it over a Google Hangout and just wasn't there. But the information that Deblet brought to the table was invaluable, so I think you should go check it out, maybe just listen to it, and I apologize for the audio and video issues. So I decided just to refilm this quickly, taking into consideration our conversations about this codex, so bringing in his points of view into my point of view. And that way, you know, it's a more well-rounded Codex review. And this is, as I said, part 3B. This is going to be the troop choices and dedicated transports, because troop choices aren't going to take very long to do. Neither are the dedicated transports. But so let's start off with the previous Codex of Blood Angels had 5 choices for troops. Now, technically, the Death Company couldn't score objectives. But you could take Death Company, you could take a Death Company Dreadnought, you could take Assault Marines, which were actually the preferred troops choices of most Blood Angel players. You could take Tactical Marines, and you can take Scouts. Unfortunately, they moved Death Company and the Death Company Dreadnought to Elite, and then they moved the Assault Marines to the Fast. So there's only 2 choices now for troops. You have Scouts, and you have Tactical Marines. So this is going to be the most boring, probably, section of my review, because it's the most similar to any other Space Marine Codex. So the first choice, Tactical Marines. 70 points, right in line with the other Space Marines. You get 5 Marines. Now it's a 20-point drop from the previous Codex, but as Deblet pointed out to me, they only get a Space Marine Sergeant in a squad, and the Space Marine Sergeant only gets a Leadership 8. So technically you want to envelop 10 of those points that you lost. Like it's a 20-point decrease, but then you have to add 10 points to add a Veteran Sergeant, which gives you a Leadership 9, so better leadership for the squad, and an extra attack altogether. So it's quite beneficial. So in the end, for 80 points, you get, for 70 points, you get 4 Space Marines and a Sergeant. For 80 points, you get 4 Space Marines and a Veteran Sergeant, which is a better combination. You can take up to 5 additional Space Marines for 14 points each. They're basically normal Space Marines with Furious Charge, because Furious Charge is now a universal rule in this codex. So everyone basically gets Furious Charge. They can combat squad, and they shall know no fear. They have power armor, bolt guns, bolt pistols, frag grenades, crack grenades. And that's basically it. They can take a Rhino, a Razorback, or a Drop Pod as a transport. I personally see a lot of Blood Angel players taking either Rhinos with full squads or Drop Pods with full squads. I think the Drop Pod synergy might be the way to go. And if you take a Sergeant or a Veteran Sergeant, can either take Melt-A-Bombs for 5 points, which could be very handy if you're facing mech. A Melt-A-Bomb is a Space Marine's best friend to pop a vehicle if they have to. And the other thing that I think would be really important in a list is a Teleport Homer. It might be great for some synergy. So in turn 1, you drop in the guys with Teleport Homers, controlling where you can drop in the guys turn 2. So providing your guys don't get wiped off the board, turn 2, you just deep strike them in closer, and it helps control where you want to land, essentially. So it's a great synergy for what you want to do, and it helps control your turns in the sense that you will get the strike off the exact strike that you want, essentially. So that's good. The other option is a Rhino. You can take him a Rhino, not bad choice. I don't see many Razorbacks being taken as dedicated transports for tactical squads. They are nice and they do have some firepower, but it's just they only have a capacity of 6 people. So we'll see. The other option for troops is a Scout Squad. A Scout Squad is a standard Scout Squad, plus it also has Furious Charge. I don't really see Scouts assaulting, so I don't think that's going to be used very often. Once again, a 20-point drop. They are 55 points. They used to be 75. So 20 points drop, but then you want to add that Veteran Scout Sergeant back in to add the +1 leadership and the +1 attack in case they get assaulted. So that brings it back up to 65 points if you want a better leadership on the squad. If not, no problem. They can take Camo Cloaks for 2 points each, which is now a really good deal. It used to be much more expensive. They can replace a bolt gun with a Space Marine shotgun or a close combat weapon for free. And once again, I think a really cool synergy actually with these guys, if you do take Scouts, I can see Scouts being taken in competitive lists. The reason being is that they have Infiltrate and they have Scout, because they're Scouts. And they also have access to a teleport homer. So you can get them a little bit better up the battlefield or near your opponent, and then use your teleport homer to drop in reinforcements around them to destroy whatever you want. And the teleport homers would be a very good idea if you're running a drop pod heavy list, or an Ascent of Angels list, kind of thing. So it might be a really cool way to control where you go, and it'll be a great way to synergize. I also see scouts being taken if you're trying to take multiple force organization charts. To take those, if you want to take a predator spam list like you did in the previous editions, ball preds are now heavies. So you can't really take more than 3 of them in a normal standard force organization. And I definitely see scouts just being as a cheap, easy, 55 points, so take 2 of them, 2 squads, 110 points, and then you can take multiple force organs if you want. Pretty standard stuff. So that's good. That's it. That's the troops. As I mentioned, one of the huge cool things about the Blood Angels in the previous Codex was the ability to take Assault Marines as troops. And removing that, now obviously Assault Marines can still score objectives like they normally do, but we're still early in 7th edition. And early in 7th edition, most armies don't have access to 7th edition codices, so most armies will have objectives secured. And Assault Marines will not be able to contest objectives if your opponent's troops are on them if they have objectives secured, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, your choices are Scout, which you could be taking. I could see them taking as a cheap list. Maybe that take them as to help support if you're going first. You put them where you want to go, and then drop pods near them. But I think Tactical Marines are going to be the foundation of most armies, as they are for most Space Marine armies, and probably full squads. I could see them being maybe squads of 8, being put in a drop pod with Mephiston or another HQ to help buff them. They do have Furious Charge. They do have Meltabombs. They have and you can give them a Teleport Homer. So there's some great synergy there. Yeah. So let's go over to the dedicated transports for a moment, because we're only 7 minutes into this video. Got to keep going and talking. Like with the other 7th edition codices, the dedicated transports have been moved to the fast attack choice. So there's the Rhino, the Razorback, and the Drop Pod. And basically what they did with the Rhino and the Razorback is that they kind of made them 10 points more expensive than the standard Rhino and Razorback. But they gave them overcharged engines, which is a normally 10-point upgrade for the other vehicles in the Codex. So they kind of made them like a forced upgrade that you have to take. But a Rhino's a Rhino and a Razorback's a Razorback. But the cool thing about these ones are that they're fast because they have the overcharged engines. So once again, you put a squad in a Rhino. You put a squad in a Rhino, maybe a scout squad in a Rhino. I don't know. That'd be kind of funny. But they scout, or they move up quick, right? They move up full speed ahead. They're a fast vehicle, so that'll be great. They have a teleport homer, and if they drop in, anybody wants deep strike in turn 2 or even turn 1, it'd help you. You can help if you want to reinforce the guys around them. You can send these guys to where you want to go in the Razorbacks and the Rhinos, and control where you're going to deep strike around them. So it's some great synergy, and it'll help you get to exactly where you want to be and destroy exactly what you want to destroy when you want to do it. So that's what I think is going to be in the competitive lists. A fast Rhino, it's good. It's a troop choice, and vehicles are more survivable in 7th edition. So it's still a standard Rhino, 11, 11, 10, 3 hull points. But it's faster. It'll help get your guys to where you want them to go before it gets destroyed, and that's the purpose of a Rhino. Same with a Razorback. Some good shenanigans. A Razorback. So let's go with the Razorback. 65 points. Once again, 10 points higher than the standard one from Space Marines. It's a fast Razorback. And it has a twin-linked heavy bolter, overcharged engines, searchlight, smoke launchers, capacity of 6 people, obviously. It's 11, 11, 10, 3 hull points plus 4. I personally like 2 different options. If you're up against a pesky Horde army, give it a heavy flamer. It's a fast vehicle. So it can move up 12 inches and flame the crap out of your Orc friend army, or the Tyranids. And goodbye, Horde army. Pretty funny stuff there. The other option, the heavy bolter's not bad. I really like the las cannon, the twin-link las cannon idea. It's 20 points. So once again, all the upgrades are kind of cheaper now because they're perfectly in line with the Space Marine Codex. Twin-link las cannon's 20 points. Twin-link assault cannon's 20 points. Las cannon, twin-link plasma gun, 20 points. Twin-link las cannon on a fast vehicle, you can move it around, put it around the back of the field, and just pop things. And people won't really give much attention to a solo Razorback, But once it pops your opponent's land raider or something important, they might give it some attention. So maybe you'll see those in competitive lists. We'll see. And the final one's the drop pod. It is a standard, normal, run-of-the-mill drop pod. You can also give it a locator beacon for 10 points. You know, it's 35 points. It's identical in every way to the other Space Marine drop pods. It's a drop pod. Drop pod's a drop pod is a drop pod. And, yeah. Again, the upgrades are slightly cheaper. They replace Stormbolter with Deathwind Launcher, 15 points. Locator Beacon for 10 points, again, to control your synergy. I do see drop pods being taken in many competitive lists because you want to get your guys across the field instantly, and there's some options. You know, you drop some close combat monsters in your opponent's zone, and there's going to be, like, Death Company, for example. In drop pods, they're going to be hilarious. Your opponent will have to deal with them instantly, or otherwise they're doomed. And it'll be really funny to watch your opponent squirm when all your guys land on their side of the table. You know, turn one. Well, half your guys, technically, because it's a drop pod. And I think drop pods might have some good synergy with the fast rhinos and razorbacks if you put a squad in there that has a teleport homer. Teleport homer. So that's basically my review of the troops and the dedicated transports. It's not the most interesting part of my review because it's very, very standard Space Marine stuff. Unfortunately, the Blood Angels lost a lot of the interesting qualities of their troops because they now only have scouts with Furious Charge or just normal tactical squad with Furious Charge. That's the cool thing with the Blood Angels now. And their dedicated transports are faster now, which is really cool. You know, they're going to move up across the board and get them to where they need to go faster, and that's great. You know, after two turns, they could be, you know, a full foot farther down the field than they were going to be in a normal vehicle. So, good stuff there. So thank you very much for watching this part of my in-depth series of the new Blood Angels Codex. Stay tuned for the next one where I'll cover elites. And once again, I urge you people to watch the in-depth review that I did with Deblet. It's right here. Click on it at any point. Once again, I apologize for the audio and video quality, but I think Deblet brings a lot to the table information-wise, and he did a really cool job on it. So thank you very much for watching. See you for more episodes. So next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.